Greetings, comrades. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Yes, lately I've had a bit of a feeling again, and when I get that feeling, it's time for Kerbal Space Program again. So, I made us a new save here, comrades. There's no guarantees about this. This is merely an experiment at this point. You can see the clock says it's only 4 minutes now, year 1, day 1. So this is a brand new career save. Now I know we've attempted a career before, and obviously that fell by the wayside over the years. So here's another chance, and this is this save is labeled Final U2, and you can guess why, because this is the last time we will be playing Kerbal Space Program in a new save before the KSP 2 comes out. Now obviously that's still a long time, it's a year away. We don't know exactly when in 2022 it will come out, at least I don't think we do yet. And that gives us still a chance to do all of the things that we want to do, but then this really has to be our final save. Now, to achieve this, obviously, as you can see on the bottom here, it is mod madness again. I have so many mods, even my mods have mods, and I'll show you the full mod list now. Right, comrades, here is the mod list. Brace yourself. Okay, you can pause and just have a look at it whenever you want, right? So it starts with K Science, X Science continued there. That's also possibly an essential one. You'll see what I mean at the end of the video. There's the feline utility rovers, right? So we scroll down to that. There it is. So then it continues here. Down to restock. And then there's the rest of them. So you see it's out of control again, comrades. Anyway, back to the video. Right, so now you've seen the full mod list. You know what we're up against, comrades. I have an addiction, and obviously everyone knows all about this. When it comes to mods, you have this desire to have them all. And then after a while, of course, they start causing problems. So I don't know if we are going to keep going with this modded playthrough or not. I actually want to ask you a question as well in the comments below. If you have to pick an essential mod for KSP, what would it be? For me, the one, well, there's a few actually. We can talk about this for a moment. The number one most essential mod for KSP, I think, is the Kerbal Alarm Clock. This is something that the stock game does not do at all. You don't have this functionality, and it is critical for tracking your missions. Of course, if you have just one mission, then it's okay, and that's probably why it was never included, because I guess most players do one mission and then they do another one mission. But if you have multiple running, then you lose track of them and their transfer windows and their sphere of influence changes and the burns that they need to do. And this keeps track of all of that. It also gives you the transfer times, so you don't really need the transfer window planners. So this I don't count as essential. It's important, but it's not essential. The other aspect of the game where I think a mod is, again, you can debate, is it really essential? Probably not, but it's on the top of something that will enhance the game. And that's something like the extra station pieces. There's of course the mod for that, you would have seen it in the mod list. And something like the stalker-like planetary bases. That's another mod I have here. Now, these are things I think that enhance the base game, because the base game is weak in these areas. Of course, we have the hitchhiker container, and that's really all that we have for station parts. You can use the smaller two crew capsules and things like that, but it's not really station parts. You can play it as that, but I think the game can be enhanced by having the station parts and of course the planetary bases, because that is another aspect where I think having some options is a good thing. It's not essential, I admit that, but I think it's important. Now, for me, I think that's really the only essential or even important mods. We could debate whether something like restock is essential. Maybe after all these years it is, because we've seen the stock graphics over and over and over and over and over and over. And of course the restock makes it a bit prettier. So I have that as well. And then of course I have a ton of other mods. I don't have any graphics mods at the moment. No scatterer, no spectra, which is what I use the most. It's quite good, but even that is off here. No parallax. I love parallax, but it's all too much. I can't have all these mods. Obviously my computer is 6 years old at this point, and I have to respect its wishes, so I can't have all of that. What else? Environmental visual enhancements I also don't have, so no visual mods like that. Anyway, so I have another overall here of the contracts. If we leave this window, this is the thing, Strategia. We tried this once before. I liked it a lot, so I have this again. I also have the contract overall that we also tried once before, but there was a clash back then because we had basically two main pathways, and that was a bit of a problem. The one was of course recreating the real world missions, and the other are as you see here. For example, where's the exploration one? For example, Kerbal Kind records. Where's the exploration thing? I saw it here, there. That gives us, you know, the normal ones, orbit, Kerbin and all of that. So they kind of were a duplication. Now I don't have the real world one, only these Kerbal ones. Now there's of course quite a lot like the Strategia ones here. There's the tourism one. Scansat again I have. Prototype markets, we can ignore this if I don't want to do that. There's various things to save, flight data, etc, etc. There's the Coast Guard. There's the airline thing. There's of course the Kerbal Kind one, Kerbal Academy, giving aircraft a purpose. This one is a bit out of date, but I think this is the only one that really speaks to aircraft. Now I don't usually play with aircraft that much. I like the rocket aspect, and that's why I still haven't figured out how to properly use the rotors. But if we need to get into that, for example a small Mars mission or Duna mission in this case, and we want to use that, then I'll ask for your expertise in that regard. Comnet relays, we can get contracts for that. Bases and stations of course. This is all good, I like all of this. Now again, there's no saying at what point we might run into trouble again. There's also of course the overall of the whole tech tree here. So we start with again these sounding rockets. We've done that before I think at one point, but this I like again. We also get probe cores right at the beginning. You see there's no crewed capsules here, so this is probes before crew, or I think actually it's another one. You'll see it in the list. There's of course all the mods listed there as I showed you. But in any case, this just breaks up the tree into a huge thing here, much bigger than the stock tree. So yes, I also have other science experiments included here again. If we just have a look at something. There's so much, I have no idea where everything is. No clue at all. The infrared telescope, there's a resource mapper, those are usual things. I have no idea, but in any case we should have, like there's an advanced high resolution imager by Scansat. Things like that, you know, so we have more sources for science because we're going to need it all. So I don't know what this flickering thing is there, that looks weird, but in any case we won't look at that. Let's go to the tracking station. I'll show you there's nothing happening at the moment. Hey, there we go. Thank you, Gene Kerman. I think we have that information by now. So of course here we are, our home again. Kerbin, the moon and all of that. So of course we start again with all of those things. Now I'm wondering, because I liked what we did last time when we did a career by naming satellites and launch vehicles after comrades. So I want to do that again. So if a comrade leaves a comment below in the, well, comment area of the video, then I will use your name for our various vehicles and satellites. Of course that will take a long time, but that's why again I don't want to change again to another save or anything. This is it, unless of course things go bad and we have to do it in pure stock again. Nobody knows, but in any case. So let's begin by taking our very first contract. I don't know if we should even do that now. Coast Guard, ScanSat. There's nothing available there. Do some science. 3 stars. Let's do that. Okay, we'll do our very first one. Any experiment on Kerbin. Recovery or transmit, launch a vessel into the air. Let's do that one. And we won't do the others yet. Suborbital trajectory. Let's do this one. Reach for the stars. It's time to slip the surly bonds of gravity and touch the stars. What? Oh, I mean, let's go to space. Yes. Alright, that's our only 2 contracts we can take. And our only parts are here. So let's go into the VAB and say hello again to our esteemed scientist. Welcome, Werner von Kerman. Right. Avionics package. This cannot be the first part on a vessel. Now I have to think. Because I also have things like the near future launch vehicles and electrics and propulsion and all of that. There you see it, near future. So we're going to have a lot more options for capsules, for example, 7 crew capsules and all of that. I want that, but I don't want the Blue Dog Design Bureau stuff. That's totally overwhelming. There's so many hundreds of parts, I don't like it at all. I can't handle that. That's why I also think it's better to do it with a career, because then we unlock them gradually. So it's better like this. Let's do the payload truss and we'll design something very simple here today for our first launch. Now that's the nose cone parachute. We'll slap that one on there. Now already we have so many tabs and things here. I don't have life support. I don't want the complication from that as well. Now there's science. Let's do some basic things here. So I'll use the aeronomy sensor. Cardboard box stuffed with science. There's the engineering test bay. Now getting this just right is a struggle, but okay. And how much do these weigh? 0.02, because I think we must get a battery as well. 0.001. So it's going to be a bit unbalanced, so I think we will... Anyway, I need to put the probe core on first. That's 0.1. Then I'll use 2 batteries. So we're not going to put too much science on this. You don't just do one sounding rocket, you do a few of them. So that will bring this whole package back down. Launch stick we don't need right now. And I just really have to remember how all of this works. It's been a while since I played KSP. How do you... oh dear, how do you rotate something? It's been too long, it's been too long. Oh dear. E and Q. That took far too long. Now that's done, let's pick the next thing. Fins come last. Let's get the There are no decouplers, right? No. So we'll have to bring the whole thing back down. So there's the Might solid fuel booster. There's also the SRMS sounding rocket motor and the L. Let's just see what's the difference here. Fuel is 8, fuel is 16, fuel is 40. So that's long range. So we start with the 8 one. That's basically all. Do we even need to separate the fairings? I don't know. Unfortunately, we don't have... Why do we have so many? There's one. Oh, it duplicated the thing. There. Now, again, I don't have the usual groups here. So I'm going to have to do the signs manually, the action groups. So I think, yes, of course I have my flag, the Admiral Design Bureau. If we're going to do another KSP, it has to be the right way, right? Now also the plan is, of course, now this is where my challenge comes in, and this is where I want to hear from you, comrades. It's all fun and games to do this very modded playthrough and all of that. But now, eventually the plan is kind of, at least, to, once we unlock enough things and we have enough money from our contracts, to start building, you know, like we planned long time ago, the Buran and things like that again. But then it's going to be all with the modded parts, such as Restock and Restock Plus. And that, of course, means the comrades can't join that unless they have the same mods, which is my problem and my dilemma. I don't just want to jump into building those big projects again. That's really, you know, it takes a long time, as we know, almost 10 hours I think to do the Apollo. So I want to ease into it and just do small missions and then eventually build up to something bigger. So that's why I won't call this episode 1. This is purely just getting back into it a little bit and hearing what you have to say. Should we just go back to pure stock? Of course, with an alarm clock. I don't know. Now what's the use of all of these launch sticks? I have no idea. We surely don't need them. Anyway, this will be called the A1, of course Admiral 1. We'll just see what happens. What's the thrust to weight here? Too much, way too much. Still too much. There, that's more respectable. Right, I'll save this and we will launch. Let's see what it does. Maybe I should actually just take the signs on the ground first. Right, here we are. Now let's just take a peek inside. Record the aeronomical experiment data. Gravitational effects and atmospheric data, so we will save that. Of course we can't transmit that now. And we will also record the engineering test data. Keep that. And that's it, now we recover. This is purely just running a dress rehearsal. Where's my tea? Right, we did get a message there. So we have some science now. A world's first milestone. We performed experiments at home. Now, did this address... No, we have to launch the vehicle. So let's go back. I guess it doesn't matter which one. No, let's go from inside then. Of course, as before, actually, we shouldn't launch it from here. We should launch it in the desert. obviously pretending this other space center doesn't yet exist. We start our experiments again in the desert, comrades. Right, of course we see the marker here. I do have these installed as well. Do I need to see this right now? No, wait. Desert launch site. Airfield. I can hide it, delete it. I don't want to delete it, I just want to hide it. Well, delete it then. We can hopefully get it back again at some point, should we need it. Anyway, enough delay. No SAS, so we will do our countdown again. 3, 2... What is going on with this terrain here? Something strange is happening. Anyway, 1. All is going very well. Unfortunately, there we go, they were stuck a little. Record that, please. Record that. And then we just continue the flight. It's a respectable altitude. And now, of course, we just have to wait until we get back down. Nice view, though. Wonder if we could see anything, other objects, other planets. Anyway, get rid of that. It swings very violently, but better to do it now before the speed is too much to deploy. Anyway, fast forward. We're getting some graphical problems here. I do have the safe... Well, safe shoots is not the one I'm thinking of. I don't know. It's that mod that cancels time warp before you hit the ground. That's the one I'm thinking of. I have that again. Of course that's important, especially in a case like this. It's not even deployed yet. It's very, very slow. I don't know what this problem here is. This could be another mod issue. Since there's no... What the... There's no other mods that interfere with graphics. What's going on? Good grief, this is going to be a slow descent. No, I think I've made up my mind. I'm not going to use mods. The thing exploded anyway. No mods. See this graphical thing here? What's going on here? It's all interfering too much. There it is again. No, that made my mind up now. We are going to go pure stock. Then we won't have any of these problems. Look at that. What the... Anyway. So, this was an interesting little experiment, but I think I answered my own question. What I just need to know from you, comrades, please give me your number 1 most essential mod for KSP. I'll have a look at them. It's probably all things I've heard about before, but still it will be interesting just to check what you think is essential. Like Chatterer, should we... I think it's fine to have Chatterer, that's not a problem. But I think other than that, my main question is, what about things like restock? And then the restock plus. It's a problem. Otherwise, we just go pure stock. Because that's the thing then. If I get back into mods, the problem is then as soon as there's an update, it breaks everything again. Even though I'm using CCAN, because sometimes there's no updates or whatever the case might be. And then I also can't share the craft files, but initially that won't be a thing anyway, because we have to work our way up the ladder again. I saw there's a mod that allows you to share things on Kerbal X. I don't know how that works, but that could then save me a lot of time to actually just share the craft files with you. No, we're going back to stock. That's how it is. My choice is made. Anyway, we'll keep things like Chatterer. Should we keep something like Final Frontier that tracks the achievements of various Kerbals? Possibly. It's not essential, but there it is. Alarm clock, of course. Trajectories. I think this is kind of essential in some cases. Just because normally it's not an issue, but if you're trying to land at a specific location on a planet with an atmosphere like Duna, then of course you can't always predict how the orbit is going to change based on your entering into the atmosphere. And this is essential for that. It's still not perfect by any means, but it will help to narrow it down so our landings are easier. But this is also the same mod. Remember long ago with the Mir station, we had all that slowdown and lag happening. This was the cause of it. You have to turn off the show trajectory. If you do that, it obviously is simulating in the background and slowing down everything. That's very, very important. If you use this, make sure you turn it off when you are not needing to show the trajectory. But anyway, I know that now, so I might use that as well. ScanSat. Is ScanSat essential? What about the different contract packs like Strategia and the other things? I don't know. This is the thing that's keeping me away from KSP at the moment. Anyway, this just opens the discussion, comrades. Let me know what you think. And I'll meet you again soon in KSP, and then that will be our save until the end of KSP 1. From here to forever, right comrades? I'll see you again soon. Have a great day.